Welcome, Dreamcast Dad, chillin' in the Chow Garden once again to tell you my true and honest thoughts about Sonic 3, the movie. That's right, I saw the Sonic 3 movie, and I want to tell you what I thought while saying Yosh as Dr. Robotnik. First of all, Robotnik himself, he is in the movie prominently, and he wears a jacket that looks a heck of a lot like this. And by the way, just as an aside, I do appreciate going in the Chow Garden here in Sonic Adventure 2 as Robotnik outside the mech suit. It's pretty great. I mean, look at him go. Look at him. Look at him run around. Look at that. I used to have a Robotnik toy when I was a kid, and he looked spitting image from Sonic Adventure. Look at that. I want to do a foot race. Well, anyway, Robotnik was definitely the shining star of the movie. Jim Carrey. He's so heavily involved. He's arguably the main character. I mean, he has more screen time than anyone. And you have Jim Carrey playing Robotnik and Gerald Robotnik. And overall, I love this movie. I mean, I really liked the first two. But this, just in retrospect, just number 3 just overshadows the first two. Pun intended, I think. With the inclusion of Shadow. But not only that, it just gives you more of what you want and less of what you don't want. I liked Sonic 1 well enough. But I will admit, in retrospect, like, this movie's way better. This is the definitive Sonic movie, and Shadow is great. Keanu Reeves' Shadow is great. The lore, the way they tell his story, they change up what happens in the game beat for beat of Sonic Adventure 2, but they keep the spirit of the general beats of the plot the same. They stay true to the spirit of Shadow's origin and his tragically dark past. They stay true enough to it. There are some things that were changed, but overall, I think they did an amazing job. They had some great action. The humor was actually on point, like, more often than not, unlike in the past movies where it was really hit and miss. And there was a lot less human characters besides Robotnik himself. So it was just a great time. I really enjoyed it. I genuinely laughed at the scenes with Jim Carrey dancing and the laser and all of that. So overall, yeah, this is definitely the best Sonic movie. Any Sonic fan would enjoy it. I think if you're not into the franchise, you might not care either way. But I thought it was a genuinely well-told story. It has Maria in it, Shadow's human friend, and they do something different with Gerald Robotnik, but because he's alive in the movie, he's long dead in Sonic Adventure 2. But I think they stay true to the spirit of his whole character and his whole arc. Flaws of the movie, one thing, I mean, it was there. This is just nitpicking, but as a fan, I would have loved to see Space Colony Arc. The levels in space in Sonic Adventure 2, where they're grinding on the neon rails in space above Earth. There's not like a lot of that, but you do get the Eclipse Cannon, and you do get them fighting in space and going to the moon at one point, and there are scenes ripped straight from the game. So overall, I mean, this movie was great. This was a great movie. And what's with this? Is he gonna fight someone doing that? Can I kick a Chow doing that? No, I can't. I can only love. So I don't know why he has that animation, but anyways, great movie. If you're gonna check out any of the Sonic movies, but you're kind of middling on even seeing them, definitely see this one. This was all killer, no filler. It doesn't have kind of the baby joke, as many of the baby joke things as the first two. There's always something lame that happens in the first two that breaks up the action. But in this movie, it was like wall-to-wall action. And yeah, main thing, I wish there was more Space Colony Arc stuff, but besides that, they really get everything right. And if I could dip into spoilers just a minute. Okay, to talk about spoilers, I've given you fair warning now, so if you don't want to hear spoilers, you know, leave the video now. But they tease Amy Rose at the end and Metal Sonic at the end, and I thought that was very interesting because it made me want to go back and play Amy in other games, because it made me start thinking about Sonic Adventure 1 and how you play as Amy, and it was as I recall, it was kind of the better of the campaigns on offer. Remember that hammer being very unique. I enjoyed playing her in Sonic Advanced. So I'm excited for Amy to come back with her hammer, and I'm excited for this franchise. I'm glad what they did with the Robotnik character. They gave him a heroic send-off. He heroically sacrifices himself at the end and kind of goes on a hero arc, kind of like what happens in Sonic Adventure 2. But in the movie, he apparently doesn't survive. And you think Shadow doesn't make it out either, but they tease at the end that he actually did make it out. So I thought they handled it perfectly. They kept the stakes high like in the game. They didn't baby it down. Maria really does get killed by gun agents. She doesn't get directly shot, but she does get killed by the government, essentially. That's such a dark backstory, and the fact that they kept all that in is very impressive. So I gotta say, you know, this was not like Baby's first Alvin and the Chipmunk movie type movie that some of the past movies kind of dipped into a bit. This was legit. This was a legit effort, and I appreciate Jeff Fowler and the team and everyone. They nailed it. So definitely see Sonic 3, the movie. It's great. Yosh. And a Yosh to you, and good night. As I must get out of here now. Goodbye.